Are we ready for this year's class? Born and raised in the Twin Cities, he played 15 years, all with the Minnesota Twins. He was the National High School Player of the Year in both baseball and football, opting to play baseball after being the #1 pick in the 2001 Major League Draft. Catchers have won only 7 batting titles in American League and National League history. 3 of them came from this player. A 6-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, as the best hitter at his position, also won 3 Gold Gloves for his fielding behind the plate. Please welcome to the stage Hall of Famer Joe Mauer. It was a long road to Cooperstown for this manager, 7 years playing, then 11 years managing in the minor leagues. He broke through in the majors in 1986 and went on to win 3 division titles with the Pirates, 2 pennants with the Tigers, and a World Series title with the Florida Marlins in 1997. 22 seasons as a big league manager, more than 1,700 wins, a 3-time Manager of the Year. Please welcome Hall of Famer Jim Leyland. 17 Major League seasons, all with the Colorado Rockies. The all-time franchise leader in games, runs, hits, home runs, and RBIs. One of the most rare feats in a single baseball season is 400 total bases. This man did it in back-to-back seasons in 2000 and 2001. A 5-time All-Star, he also won 3 Gold Gloves for his defensive work at first base. Let's welcome to the stage Hall of Famer Todd Helton. At third base, he is the all-time leader in hits, total bases, and runs batted in. One of only 3 players at the position with 3,000 hits. He did all that while playing an outstanding third base defensively, winning 5 Gold Gloves. He played for 4 teams, his longest run coming with the Texas Rangers, a club he led to an American League pennant in 2011. Please welcome to the stage Hall of Famer Adrian Beltré.
Todd, if I could ask you to join me. As chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor, Todd, to welcome you into the Hall of Fame family and to ask Commissioner Manfred to please come up and read the inscription on your plaque.
Todd Lynn Helton, Colorado, National League, 1997 through 2013. One of baseball's most efficient hitters who blended plate discipline with elite contact skills and brute strength during a 17-year career as the face of the Rockies franchise. Across 5 consecutive All-Star seasons from 2000 through 2004, led the majors in batting average, 349, extra base hits, 451, and total bases, 1,832. His 2000 campaign topped leaderboards with 59 doubles, 147 RBI, a 372 average, and a 1162 OPS, and was his first of back-to-back seasons with more than 400 total bases. Left-hander, earned 4 Silver Slugger Awards and 3 Gold Gloves, leading NL first baseman in fielding percentage 6 times.
Each year, our Hall of Fame inductees receive a unique ring that commemorates their induction. The ring recognizes each Hall of Famer with his last name, position, and year of induction. In the past, we have given this ring at a private members' dinner following this ceremony. But last year, we started what we think is a new and wonderful tradition to present it on stage in front of you as part of the induction ceremony itself. Todd? Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Helton.
Thank you. I'd first like to thank Larry Walker for those kind words. Thank you. I would like to start by thanking everyone with the National Baseball Hall of Fame, from Jane Forbes Clark to Josh Rowich to John and Whitney. You have been beyond gracious to me and my family. Those of you who know me know I'd be more comfortable doing anything other than standing up here talking about myself. I'm just a ball player, and anyone in the media can attest to that fact. So, with that in mind, thank you to the media for making the most of what little I gave you. Thank you to the baseball writers who voted me in. To say I'm humbled by this honor does not begin to cover how I feel standing here today. I would first like to congratulate my fellow 2024 Hall of Fame inductees, Adrian and Joe. It's great to be sharing this podium with you. I admire the way you both played the game hard and every day. Jim Leyland. Where's Jim Leyland? In 1999, you said to me, "Kid, if you keep playing like this, you're going to make it to the Hall of Fame." Being inducted alongside you is such an honor. Congratulations, Skip. And also to Larry Walker for taking care of me early in my career and for paving the way for me to be here. I owe this incredible honor to many. You don't get to play Major League Baseball or dream of getting into the Hall of Fame without people who support you, sacrifice for you, and push you to be the best version of yourself. First, to my wife, Christy. We did this together. This is our honor. You were there on day one when I got my first call from the Major League Baseball telling me I'd been drafted by the Colorado Rockies. And you were right there by my side when I got the last call telling me I'd been elected to the Hall of Fame. I'm so grateful you were there alongside me for all those years in between those two calls. To my daughters, Tierney Faith and Gentry Grace, the pure tenderness of your heart in each of you blows me away at every turn. I've actually seen and learned so much about myself in raising you as your dad. You both mean the world to me. Mom, thank you for all the time you put into helping me get here. Now, as a parent, I have an appreciation for how much work it was for you. I now see how much you sacrificed for me to live out my dream. You watch more baseball than most big league scouts. and you did it with my baby sister in tow. Thank you so much. My dad passed in 2015. This would have meant as much, if not more, to him than it does me. When I was young, my dad taught me how to swing a bat and how to pitch a ball. But most importantly, beyond the relentless coaching, my dad made me believe I could stand up here today. My dad had a brief history in the minor leagues with the Minnesota Twins. And after that, he poured his passion for baseball into me. I will never forget being in the backyard, pretending I was Jim Cott, the first baseball player I ever knew of. Now, my family, we purchased a VCR for the sole purpose of me watching this 15-minute video of Rod Carew on the baseball bunch. He was talking about hitting the ball the other way. It was literally the only video we owned, and I must have watched it a million times. Before I go any further, I'd like to recognize those who have sacrificed and fought for our freedoms. They are my heroes. I thank God for giving me the ability to play baseball. I also thank God for sending those He knew I needed in my life. Rodney, thank you for being a protective big brother when I was young and a true friend to me as we grew up. There aren't many older brothers who got invited to a friend's house growing up and before responding, ask if it was okay for his little brother to come too. Pretty cool. Coach Bells was my Central High baseball coach. Thank you, Coach, for teaching me how to conduct myself at a young age. I carried the lessons you taught me throughout my career. Coach David Cutcliffe was my quarterback coach at the University of Tennessee. Coach Cut always added some baseball words of wisdom for me on our weekly quarterback tests. One simple one-liner that stuck with me through the years was, "Don't be a dirt kicker." Thank you, Cut. Even though I wanted to, at times, I made sure I kept my frustrations off the field and out of sight. I will say, being the quarterback sandwiched between Heath Schuler and Peyton made my decision to pursue baseball easier. And I knew I wasn't big-time quarterback material when I was called into the game in the Rose Bowl against UCLA. Before running onto the field, I first had to ditch the half-eaten ham sandwich and a bag of M&Ms out of my helmet. It's a pretty good sign. So I do not get recognized in Knoxville like I do in Denver. But every so often, I'll get, "Are you Todd Helton? Weren't you a quarterback for the Vols?" I'm like, I just want to throw up my hands and say, yes, but I've played a little baseball since then. Coach Bill Mosiello was my hitting coach at UT when I played there. We have been friends for 32 years. I can honestly say that Coach Mo was the best hitting coach I had next to my dad. I'd also like to recognize the best head college coach today, Coach Tony Vitello and the national champion Tennessee Volunteers. The Rockies organization gave me so many friends, on the field, in the clubhouse, in the front office, and even at the top. Jerry McMorris was a mentor to me off the field. He poured into my family's life beyond baseball. And Dick Monfort. I guess you and I have broken an unwritten rule. Owners and players aren't supposed to be friends off the field. Dick, thank you for your friendship. You have been beyond gracious to me and my girls. Clint Hurdle. Those of you who know Clint know he's never been at a loss for words. Over nearly 30 years since we met, I have learned to pay attention to your hard-fought wisdom on and off the field. One day in Milwaukee, you told me to make it personal between me and the pitcher. It changed my perspective. It became my battle at the plate. But more importantly, thank you for helping me become a better husband and father. Keith Doogie, my longtime trainer and friend. People who know me know it takes me a while to trust people, but I've known you for 30 years, and I've trusted you for 29 and a half of those years. And of course, I had 411 teammates on the Rockies, and each of you had a part of me being here today. If you were invited by my wife or I to be here with us today, you have played a role in me standing here today. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. It has been a wild ride. Now, some people have told me that my superstitions early in my career were a bit excessive. Same food, same route to field, same routine. It made sense to no one but me. I remember getting a speeding ticket on the way to the field one day in Colorado Springs. I got 3 hits that day. So, I took the same route, went the same speed, and the next day, the same officer gave me another ticket. I didn't care. I got 3 hits that day as well. I asked the officer to meet me the 3rd day, and he indulged me. Ben Scully pointed out another superstitious moment during a game at Dodger Stadium, and I swear this is the only time it happened. I started that game with a full beard, but after every at-bat that I didn't get a hit, I went back to the locker room and shaved just a little bit. Well, after 4 at-bats, I was down to a mustache, but I got a hit in my last at-bat, so to me, it was all worth it. Looking back on my career, I was really was fortunate to have a solid and stable home base, personally and professionally. Christy and my girls were in my corner at home, and for 17 years, Denver, Colorado, and the Rockies were a perfect fit for me. The people, the lifestyle, the natural beauty of the state, I was happy to call it home. We still have a ranch in Colorado that my girls call their redneck Disneyland. Thank you, Dave McCants. To all the incredible Rockies fans, thank you for my 17 years. I know you spent your hard-earned money to come to the ballpark to cheer me on. I did my best to give it all every day. Competing on the baseball field was where I felt like I belonged. It was my church, a place where I felt most comfortable. I liked putting in the long hours and doing the extra work. The early Saturday mornings with Milo thrown to me in the cage, that's the kind of stuff I miss about baseball. Working hard to compete and the relentless drive to win. But when you live to compete and baseball has become your life and you have loved it, it is difficult to know when to retire. But this was a daggum pretty good sign. One day I was waiting on my 3-year-old daughter, Gentry, to put on her shoes. She was making these grunting noises when she bent over to put on her shoes. Worried, but not wanting to embarrass Gentry, I asked my wife what was wrong. And she smiled and whispered, "She's trying to be like you putting on your shoes." There's a saying in baseball, you're either humbled or you're about to be humbled. At 40 years old, in the shadows of Coors Field, I watched a 102-mile-per-hour fastball from Aroldis Chapman coming at my head. After bailing out, bat up, helmet flying, I got up, and the ump asked if it hit me. I said, "Nope, but I'm going to first anyway. He replied, I don't blame you. And I ran down to first. The rewards that have come to me from baseball are beyond the wildest dreams of a young rookie coming out of the University of Tennessee. I know I'm a lucky man. All I can say is thank you to everyone whose support helped me get here, and thank you for this tremendous honor.
Very good.
Adrian, if I could ask you to join me. And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it's my honor, Adrian, to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and to ask Commissioner Manfred to please read the inscription on your plaque.
Adrian Beltré, Los Angeles, NL 1998 through 2004, Seattle, AL 2005 through 2009, Boston, AL 2010, Texas, AL 2011 through 18. Combined formidable bat with dynamic defense to establish himself as a premier third baseman, the first to record both 450 home runs and 3,000 hits. Dominican Republic native, developed with Dodgers into baseball's top home run hitter with 48 in 2004. Closed career with an 8-year run as Rangers lineup centerpiece, reaching the 30-homer mark 4 more times and leading the majors in hits in 2013. Filled highlight reels across 21-year career with quick hands and a rifle arm, winning 5 Gold Glove awards, 4-time All-Star, retired with more hits than any other third baseman, 3,166.
And Adrian, I would now like to present you with your Hall of Fame ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Beltré, National Baseball Hall of Fame, class of 2024.
Thank you. All right, let's do this, right? Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank the chairman, Jane Clark, the president of the Hall of Fame, Josh Rawitch, we go way back, John Chester, Winnie Horn, and all the Hall of Fame staff for the help support towards me and my family. To my fellow inductees, Joe, Todd, and Jim, congratulations to you and your family. Well deserved. I want to thank the Baseball Writers of America for voting for me, to all of you. Before I start, I want to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible. And please bear with me. My English is getting worse every day. So I'm going to butcher some name, mispronounce some words, so please have fun with it. Okay? I want to express how grateful I am to be here today. I still can't believe this moment, being here on this podium with so much greatness behind me, and now being part of this elite group is truly an honor, and I'm humble. Everyone has their own experience in baseball and in life. My path to Cooperstown has been shaped by the people who spend time teaching me at every step of the way. With their help, I continue to learn and improve to make my way here. And I want to now share with you all how my baseball journey began when I was almost 13 years old. When I was at school, one of my classmates, named Garibaldi, saw my baseball abilities during PE and asked me if he wanted to join his baseball team on the weekends. On that weekend, I headed over to the field. I introduced myself to the coach and asked him if I can join his baseball team. He said, no problem. I paid my inscription with some money I had left for my birthday. After that, I went home and told my parents that I signed myself up in a baseball league, and all they needed to do was pay for the monthly dues. The first thing my dad asked me was, what position are you going to play? I replied, I didn't know. He said to me, you should play second base, because I don't think I'm going to be very tall. So I did. I started practicing at second base and earned a starting job within 2 weeks. And about 3 months later, the third baseman wanted to play second base. And he said to me, I think you look better than third base. I think we should swap positions. And I simply said, okay. And I moved to third. I immediately fell in love with that position. I love every challenge of playing third base. I was hooked. Those hot shots, slow ground balls, bunt plays, I couldn't get enough of them. Thank you, Radamés Lopez. Around 2 years later, MLB teams started to look at me. One of those teams was the Dodgers. I was always grateful to the Dodgers to give me the opportunity to this 15-year-old kid from the Dominican Republic to sign me to a professional contract. Now my dream of becoming a professional baseball player was now a reality. But at my age, I still had more to learn and great people to teach me. After my school year, I was sent to Campo Las Palmas in the Dominican Republic, where I got to learn the fundamentals of the game from Teddy Martinez and Luis Ángel Montalvo, and all the other coaches at that camp. After 1 year of summer league, I was able to come to the United States and pursue my dream of becoming an MLB player. Thank you to this great nation for allowing me to live out my dream. I came to the minor league and I got better with a lot of help with coaches like Tommy Bayer, Adrian Correa, John Shoemaker, and some players like Jose Pimentel, La Fraga, and Brad Dandridge. Thank you, guys. On June 23rd, 1998, when I was in AA, I received one of the most important calls of my life. I want to thank these legends so much for giving me the opportunity and having the guts to call this 19-year kid from the Dominican Republic to the big league when nobody was expecting it, especially me. I was always grateful to the late Tommy Lasorda. I made it to the big leagues. I started learning from guys like Jose Vizcaíno, Marcus Grayson, Ramon Martinez, Bobby Bonilla, Raúl Mondesi, and then Cesar Sturis, Dave Roberts, Alex Cora, and one of my favorite teammates ever, El Flaco, Sean Green. I spent 7 seasons in LA. Some of the year was difficult, but shaped me and made me tough and stronger mentally. Thank you to all the managers and coaches in LA, especially Jim Tracy, Manny Mota, Jimmy Lett, John Shelby, and one of my favorite hitting coaches, Tim Wallach. Thank you to the trainer, Stanley Johnson, for being so cool. He knows what I'm talking about. Thank you to the clubhouse guys, Alex Torres and Mitch Poole. And to the LA fans, I really appreciate you. You were a hard time when I sucked, but when I was doing good, you really let me know. I will never forget the MVP chant in 2004. Love you, LA fans. Thank you for the support. Then we ended up signing in Seattle. We were there for 5 years. I want to thank the GM then, Bill Bessie, for the opportunity. And I got the chance to play with great teammates, especially that are here today. Some of my favorite teammates, Raúl Ibañez, Richie Sesson, Ken Griffin, and some guy that calls himself King Felix. And to that guy that calls himself King, I love playing with you, but I enjoy hitting against you even more. That battle on the baseball field was my favorite by far. Even though some people say that you won that battle because you made me look really bad and I had swing strikeout, that you keep posting on social media, you know what I'm talking about. But they said that, you're as good or as bad as your last pitch or your last at-bat, right? My last at-bat, remember, against you was a homer, right? So I know who won. Good pitch, good pitch. Congratulations, King, you won. Thank you to my coaching staff and the trainers, the trainer Griffin, the clubhouse manager Ted Wash. Thank you to the Seattle fans. Even though I didn't perform my best, you guys always showed me love. After Seattle, we head out for Boston. Boston was short but memorable. I had a chance to play for one of the best managers of my generation, Terry Francona, and getting players and teammates like Pedroia, Veritek, Lester, Lowe, Cameron, Euclid, Big Papi, who's here today, Victor Martinez, and Scudero. To all my Boston teammates, thank you. Thank you to the Boston Red Sox organization, and thank you to the Boston fans. I appreciate you. After Boston, we head out to Texas. Thank you to the entire Texas Ranger organization for being so good to me and my family. To the front office, I appreciate you. Mr. Ray Davis, Bob Simpson, Neil Lehman, Nolan Ryan, the late Don Welke, John Blake, Rich Rice, Tony Taylor, Josh Helton, and I cannot forget ever to thank all the media, even you, Evan Grant and Emily Jones. John Daniel, one of my favorite GM, thank you, everything you did for me. Thank you to all my teammates in Texas. You guys made me feel welcome since day one, especially Mr. Ranger, Michael Young, Ian Kinsler, Nelson Cruz, Colby Lewis, Mitch Moreland, Chin-Soo Chu, Chirino, Prince, Napoli, all of you, thank you. He thinks I forgot, but I cannot forget one of my favorite teammates all time, my compadre, Elvis Andrews. You were paying my butt, but I really enjoy playing beside you for so many years. That was so much fun. Even though you want to catch every freaking fly ball just to help your fielding percentage. Unbelievable. To my Rangers coaches, from Washington, I really love playing for you. Jeff Bannister, Steve Buchel, Tony Beasley, thank you. To my hitting coaches, Aya Posey, Colbert, Dave Magadan, I can't thank you guys enough. To the ones that kept me on the field, Dr. Keith Meister, Dr. David Hunter, trainers, Jamie Reed, Kevin Harmon, Matt Lucero, Jose Vasquez, Raul Cardenas, thank you all. The clubhouse guys, thank you all. Brandon Boy, you are the best in the business. You're a good friend. Thank you for making things easier for me and my teammates around the clubhouse. I appreciate you. To the Rangers fans, you have embraced me since day one. The support you offer me and my family is incredible. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. And like they say, everything is bigger in Texas. And you guys show me big love. I love y'all. To my agent, Scott Boras, thank you for everything you've done for me and my family. More than an agent, you're a good friend. I appreciate all the late night conversation we have at Dodger Stadium parking lot when I was struggling badly. All good advice. My brother from another mother, Mike Fiore. Mike, you are like family. I value our relationship. Thank you for always being there for us. And to the rest of the Boras Corp, thank you. To my off-season crew, Salvador, Chavita, George, Dave, Thank you for so many years of workout and batting practice. Now, please allow me to say a couple things to my Spanish-speaking people. Para mi gente latina, gracias a todos mis fanáticos latinos. Gracias a la Liga Valdés Pérez, a donde yo empecé. Gracias a toda mi familia del Café Herrera, donde yo nací y me crié. Gracias a mis suegros por la ayuda y el apoyo. Gracias a Juan Carlos Carvajal por tu amistad. Gracias a mi República Dominicana por ese apoyo que siempre he tenido. Siempre orgulloso de ser dominicano y de haber nacido en mi tierra hermosa, Quisqueya la Bella. Gracias a mis padres y a mi hermano Elvin por el amor y el apoyo que siempre me han brindado. Gracias por demostrarme que el esfuerzo y el sacrificio vale la pena, porque esos sacrificios de ustedes me ayudaron a lograr mis sueños. Gracias a Teodoro Martínez, Luis Ángel Montalvo y a los difuntos Pablo Peguero y Rafael Ávila. Me hubiera gustado poder celebrar este momento con ustedes y que puedan ver lo que ustedes proyectaron desde mi temprana edad. Quiero también expresar lo orgulloso que estoy de ser un latino más electo al Salón de la Fama y del quinto dominicano junto a don Juan Marichal, Martínez, Big Papi y Vladimir Guerrero. Para mí es un honor. El apoyo y el cariño de toda mi gente latina la llevo siempre en mi corazón. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Now back to English. To my lovely kids, Cassie, Eye, and Camila, thank you for understanding that Dad was not going to be home every night. You are the best baseball kids that Father could ask for. Thank you for being such excellent kids. I'm so proud of you guys. And thank you for making fun of my English. I love it. I'm blessed and grateful for you. To my wife, Sandra, beautiful wife Sandra of 21 years. Thank you for who you are. I could have asked for a better partner. You're such a great wife. Thank you for being constant support and the backbone in our family on both sides. It is not easy to juggle so many things to allow me just to concentrate on baseball for so many years. I appreciate you more every day. Your dedication to our family is unbelievable. The way you put our needs before yours is unbelievable again. I'm grateful for your presence in my life, and I'm blessed to call you my wife. Thank you. You are my support system. You are such a strong and resilient woman. I'm lucky to have you. This wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you. You are the real Hall of Famer. I love you. To my friends and family that came to support me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Baseball was my passion, and it blessed me with countless opportunity. And the best part was, I loved it. I love baseball, and I had so much fun playing the game. Thank you to all the baseball fans for allowing me to be part of your life for 21 seasons. I'm truly grateful. God bless you all. Thank you.
If I could ask you to join me, please, Jim.
Oh, I gotta give her a binder.
Oh. Josh. And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor, Jim, to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and to ask the commissioner to please read the inscription on your plaque.
James Richard Leyland, Jim, Pittsburgh, NL, 1986 through 96. Florida, NL, 1997 through 98. Colorado, NL, 1999. Detroit, AL, 2006 through 13. Master strategist and motivator, galvanized youngsters and veterans to lead 3 franchises to the postseason and win a World Series title. Debuted as manager with the Pirates in 1986, guiding rebuild that resulted in 3 straight NL East titles from 1990 through 92. After 11 seasons in Pittsburgh, melded a reassembled Marlins team into world champions in 1997. Over 8 seasons at the helm of the Tigers, piloted team to 3 first-place finishes and AL pennants in 2006 and 2012. Winner of Manager of the Year award twice in NL, 1990, 1992, and once again in AL, 2006.
And I would like to present you with your Hall of Fame ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Leyland.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. And good afternoon. My contributions to our beautiful pastime pale in comparison to the joy that is brought to my life. From the heart of a little boy and the soul of an old man. Commissioner Manfred, Hall of Famers, family, friends, and fans. I would like to thank Jane Forbes Clark, Josh, John, and Whitney for a most memorable weekend. A heartfelt thanks to the Contemporary Committee for voting me this most prestigious honor. Congrats to Adrian, Todd, and Joe on your election, and certainly most honored to be going in with you. I'd like to thank every player that ever played for me, minors and the majors, because I'm here today because of you and the 4 organizations that gave me the opportunity to manage their major league team. I would like you to meet my wife, Katie, my son, Patrick, and my lovely daughter, Kelly, right here in the front row. And I want to thank them for the love for a husband and a father and the support for a baseball lifer. Katie, this just doesn't happen without you. I was having coffee with Katie a couple weeks after I was elected to the Hall of Fame. And I casually said, Katie, can you believe in your wildest dreams that I've been elected to the Hall of Fame? And Katie replied, Jim, you're not in my wildest dreams. From the sandlots of Perrysburg, a jewel of a town in northwest Ohio to grow up in, to a Hall of Fame stage in Cooperstown is a long journey. Shortly after high school, I signed a pro contract with the Detroit Tigers. The scout to sign me was named Herman Kander, and I think he was fired 24 hours after that transaction was announced. I bounced around the minor leagues for 7 years as a player and a player coach, but I want to sum up my playing career real quick with this quick little story. Eddie Brinkman played shortstop 15 years in the big leagues. We both managed in the Tiger organization and were on the White Sox coaching staff at the same time. One day I said to Brink, I looked up your career batting average and it was .224. He said, that's right. I said, heck, Brink, mine was .222. And Brink said, yeah, but mine was in Washington, Detroit, St. Louis, and New York, and yours was in Lakeland, Jamestown, and Rocky Mount. That's a big difference. In 1971, Hoot Evers of the Detroit Tigers hired me to manage the Rookie League in Bristol, Virginia. And that was the beginning of an 11-year managerial run in the minors, including Bristol, Clinton, Iowa, Lakeland, Florida, Montgomery, Alabama, and Evansville, Indiana. I learned so much in those 11 years: how to handle players, experiment with strategy, and believe it or not, I read and learned the baseball rule book. It was so valuable because I saw situations later come up in the big leagues that somewhere in one of those minor league games I had seen before. And it certainly helped me be prepared to better handle it. Managing in the minors can be tough because you have to release players and shatter their dreams of ever becoming a big leaguer. And I knew that because I was one of them. On the other side of that spectrum, it is so rewarding because you get the chance to tell a player he's going to the big leagues. Such was the case with Jack Morris when I got to deliver the great news. He went on to become one of baseball's best big game pitchers and is seated behind me today here in the Hall of Fame. In 1982, I was hired by Jerry Reinsdorf, Roland Heeman, and a Hall of Fame manager, Tony La Russa, to coach third base for the White Sox. And while my minor league managing was a stepping stone to where I was trying to get, the Chicago White Sox job was my springboard to my major league managing career. Why? Because I felt like it was the final test that I had to take to see if I was ready. And Tony was so influential on showing me what it took to run a big league club. And I've often said Tony La Russa did not make me a manager, but he made me a major league manager. I later scouted for Tony and general manager Walt Jocketty with the St. Louis Cardinals. In 1985, I got my chance when Sid Thrift of the Pittsburgh Pirates hired me to manage the Buccos. Thank you, Sid. What a job he did, and who could ever forget the Killer Bees? It was my first of 4 teams that I had the honor to manage: the Pirates, the Marlins, the Rockies, and the Tigers. And there was something special about all of them. The Pirates, because they gave me my first chance, and I'll never forget that. And there are some Pirate players here today: Bob Walk, John Wayner, Andy Van Slyke, and I certainly have to mention Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Jay Bell, Doug Drabeck. I'd love to mention everybody, but I just can't. I never felt like manager and fans in Pittsburgh. It felt more like manager and friends. I know we made you happy, and I know we broke your heart, but I always felt that we were in it together. I'd also like to thank Larry Doty, Ted Simmons, and Cam Bonifay, who I worked with in Pittsburgh, and also, at the time, the 13 corporations that probably saved the Pirates. The Marlins, obvious, we won the World Series. Special? Because we beat the Cleveland Indians, who I thought had the best offensive lineup that I ever managed against. Also special because we finally got by the Atlanta Braves, who had 5 Hall of Fame players, one of my good friends and Hall of Fame manager, Bobby Cox. That's not easy to do. There are some Marlin players here today that I'd also like to thank: Jeff Conine, Gary Sheffield, Charles Johnson, and I can't forget Edgar Renneria, Levon Hernandez, and Moises Alou. A special thanks to Wayne Huizinga, Don Smiley, General Manager Dave Dombrowski, Al Avila, and David Chad. The Rockies. In spite of my subpar managing job, I still had the chance to manage 2 Hall of Fame players. Larry Walker, a 5-tool player with unbelievable instincts. And at that time, an up-and-coming first baseman named Todd Helton, who was just introduced as the second Rocky player to join the Hall of Fame. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Vinny Castillo, Dante Bichette, the late Darrell Kyle, the late Darrell Hamilton, and there were plenty more. A special thanks to the late Jerry McMorris, Dick and Charlie Mofford, and of course my general manager, Bob Gebhardt, a baseball lifer like me. Detroit Tigers, pretty simple. Signing some 40 years before with the Tigers, I finally got to Detroit in 2006. It took a long time. When I got there, I had a reunion with Dave Dombrowski, one of baseball's great GMs in any era, Al Avila and David Chad, and it was a great reunion. Owner Mike Ilitch was the most passionate owner that I've ever been around. The entire Ilitch family went above and beyond to make my time in Detroit so special, and Chris Ilitch and President Scott Harris are still doing that today. 2 American League pennants, 2 World Series appearances, 3 straight division championships, and some of the most knowledgeable fans came out to the tune of 3 million people several times. How'd that happen? Because players like the unforgettable Magli Ordonez, Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez, and of course the great Miguel Cabrera. And I'd like to mention a few more. Placido Polanco, Curtis Granderson, Todd Jones, Fernando Rodney, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Alex Avila, who's here today, and I appreciate Alex, and the old-timer Kenny Rogers. I'm asked a lot, what were your keys or priorities to managing? Some of mine were as follows. Try to get the front office, the major leagues and the minor leagues all on the same page. Try to make the clubhouse a fun place to come and a great place to work, and get that temperature just right. As manager and coaches, we always wanted to get the best version of the player, the respect of the competition, and the people that watch us play. In 2017, I got a call from Commissioner Manfred and Joe Torre asking if I would like to manage the 2017 United States team in the World Baseball Classic. Joe put together a tremendous group of players, and I added a special guy in Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer for the Tigers, to be my bench coach. And I never saw a group of guys get so close in such a short period of time. And we went on to win that World Baseball Classic for the United States. For the first and only time. One of my greatest memories. All organizations have people that work so hard that never get recognized enough, and I would like to mention some of them, and I hope you don't mind if I read this off. Front office trainers, team doctors, strength coaches, travel secretaries, clubhouse managers, PR directors, and scouts. And in every place I was, I felt I had the best. Also, thanks to the broadcasters, to the media, and the men in blue, the umpires. And of course, the coaches. One of the most important elements of any organization, the coaches. And I'm proud to say that 9 coaches over the years that were on our staff either managed in the big leagues prior to or after being on our staff. And I think that's quality. I wish I could mention all of the coaches today, but I can't. So I'm only going to mention the first 2 I ever hired. Gene Lamont and Rich Donnelly. Rich organized our spring training camp. Thank you. Rich organized our spring training camp every year, and it was absolutely flawless. Gene was listed as a coach, but was really another manager in the dugout. Gene and I were roommates in 1966. He was a longtime minor league manager, and he managed 2 major league teams, the Chicago White Sox and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was unbelievable to have your closest friend standing next to you in the dugout through the good times and the tough times. Gene is here. Gene, you're a big part of this. Please stand up. And in closing, I would like to say this to the fans. No matter which Hall of Famer you're here to support today, or which team you cheer for, your presence is always felt. On your feet in the 9th, with the home team clinging to a 1-run lead, turning on your television for the first game of the World Series, and seeing 50,000 fans waving towels, hoping and praying that this may be their year. Or a little boy or girl getting their first autograph and scurrying back to the stands to show mom and dad their latest treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that's you. That's baseball, and this is the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
And Joe, if I could ask you to join me. And as chairman of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it is my honor to welcome you to the Hall of Fame family and ask the commissioner to please come up and read the inscription on your plaque.
Joseph Patrick Maurer, Joe, Minnesota AL 2004 through 18. Lifelong twin, was one of the most complete catchers in the game's history, producing at the plate and behind the mask like few others. Deployed precise left-handed swing to become first AL catcher to win a batting title, securing 3 total, 2006, 2008, 2009, most ever among backstops in AL/NL history. Earned AL MVP honors in 2009 when he hit .365, setting all-time record among those with 100 games caught in a season and homered 28 times. First overall selection of 2001 MLB draft, was a 6-time All-Star, won 5 Silver Sluggers, and displayed athleticism behind the plate, earning 3 Gold Glove awards.
And I'd like now, Joe, to present you with your Hall of Fame ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Maurer.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. As tough as it is to get into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it might be just as tough to sum up what this game, this honor, and this moment truly means to me. Even if I had all the time in the world, I'm still not sure I could properly put it into words. But today, I am grateful for the chance to try my best to describe what it means to be here with all of you. For as long as I can remember, the game of baseball has been a central part of my life and the life of my family. I grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota, with my parents, 2 older brothers, and my grandpa Jake Maurer. Much of my early childhood was spent watching Twins games and pretending to be a big leaguer in my backyard and at various neighborhood parks with my brothers. Many of those parks were the same fields that fellow Hall of Famers Dave Winfield, Paul Molitor, and Jack Morris played on as well. How lucky and unique it was to have 3 big leaguers and future role models hail from my same city. Watching them as a kid was my first glimpse of hope that maybe I could make it in baseball as well. It'll never be lost on me that the same guys I pretended to be in my yard are men I grew up to know personally, and I even had one of them become my manager. Long before my big league days, my parents coached all of our Little League teams throughout the years. Rides to and from games consisted of conversations on good sportsmanship and ways to improve, and our dinner table talks were more of the same. In our home, baseball was a family affair. My dad and grandpa loved the game, and they loved to share their knowledge of the sport. They were the first to see a potential in me and believed in my abilities long before I did. They taught me that being successful takes a lot more than just athletic talent.
At a young age, they instilled in me the values of hard work and dedication. They raised me on the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated, and always showing respect to my teammates, coaches, umpires, and opponents. They were my first and greatest role models, coaches and mentors, and they supported me every step of my baseball journey. From the very early days of homemade pitching machines in the garage to lengthy voicemails left after my big league performances, their guidance never wavered. Even at the end of my career, as my grandpa's eyesight was failing, he would stand right next to his TV in a batting stance and go through my every at-bat as if he was swinging alongside me. I hope they are both looking down this afternoon with pride, knowing that all their time and hard work helped me get to this podium, standing here as a Hall of Famer. From day one, they led by example and truly walked the walk, a path I was blessed to follow. Another very important person who was there every step of the way was my mom. She is the ultimate example of humility. Truth be told, she's the best athlete in our family, but she never wanted to take any of the credit for it and the skills and knowledge she passed along to me and my brothers. I want to thank you, Mom, for always being there, for being my greatest cheerleader and fan, and for always reminding me to have fun. You taught me that I could be a fierce competitor, but that it's far more important to be a good person. The example you set helped mold me into who I am today, and for that, I am more grateful than you'll ever know. I love you, Mom. I want to give a nod to the sky and also thank my grandparents, Mike and Phyllis Tierney, for never missing a game in the course of my career. And for the baseball fans out there who love numbers, that's 81 home games times 15 years, adding up to 1,215 games. Even if I wasn't in the lineup, they still showed up to cheer on their beloved Twins. They were a wonderful example of dedication and support going back to my very first days at T-ball. I want to thank my brothers, Jake and Bill. You were my first teammates and opponents, and I credit them for giving me thick skin. If I wanted to play with the older kids, then I needed to prove to them that I could, and you two were always willing to give me that chance. I want to thank you for never taking it easy on me, and for your support from the backyard days throughout my last game. I'm lucky to have you both as role models and friends. I was very fortunate to have a family who always nurtured my love of baseball. They were my first support system. But I was also fortunate to have a lot of great coaches over the years, and one in particular was my high school baseball coach, Jim O'Neill. For those who wondered why I rarely swung, please. For those of you who wondered why I rarely swung at the first pitch, it dates back to the advice he gave me my senior year at Cretin-Derham Hall. He once told me, Joe, when you step into the box, you're most likely going to hit the ball, so why not wait for the pitch you want? Simple advice, but I credit him for helping me develop a plan every time I stepped up to the plate and giving me the confidence to hit deep into counts. He taught me patience and control, and I carried those lessons with me throughout my career. Thank you, Jim. I want to thank Scouts Mark Wilson, Joel Leppel, and former Minnesota Twins general manager Terry Ryan for coming out and watching those many high school games and for taking a chance on me as an 18-year-old catcher. The draft was talented that year back in 2001 with several players close to Major League ready, and you took me. Seen as an unpopular choice by many, I was determined to prove to everyone that you made the right decision, and your trust and belief in me helped me gain confidence in myself, especially in those early years. Navigating that chapter in my life where I was faced with major decisions at a young age was made easier for me by the help of two men who I revere as